Recognizing the member from Vancouver-Langara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As a parent of 2 young adult sons and as someone with close friends who ride motorcycles, I deeply welcome Bill 12 and the proposed updates to the graduated licensing program and the new Motorcyclist Licensing Program. These changes reflect the realities of today's drivers and riders, making the system fairer, more accessible, and above all, safer. Learning to drive is one of the biggest milestones in a young person's life. I still remember when my sons first got behind the wheel. Equal parts excitement and nerves. Like many parents, I worried about their safety, not because they were careless, but because driving experience takes time. Experience cannot be rushed, and it can't always be tested in one single moment. That's why the proposed bill to replace the second road test with the longer supervised period makes so much sense. It builds in more time for real-world learning and accountability without adding unnecessary barriers and costs. British Columbia has long prided itself on high road safety standards, and these changes keep that commitment intact while aligning with the evidence. We are currently one of only 2 provinces in Canada that requires a second road test to earn a full license. Yet there is no clear data showing that this extra test improves safety outcomes. What does improve safety is consistent, responsible driving over time, and that's exactly what this bill emphasizes. Under the proposed model, new Class 5 drivers will continue to operate under restrictions for a 12-month period, during which they must demonstrate clean, responsible driving. If they incur a penalty or violation, that clock resets. This approach rewards good habits and reinforces safe behavior far better than a one-time test ever could. It also helps remove barriers for people in rural and remote areas where getting a road test can mean long drives, missed work days, and expensive travel. As a parent, I know how much stress the current system can create. My eldest son, who works full-time and attends school, waited nearly 3 months for a second road test appointment. He was confident, capable, and had already proven his skills by driving safely for 2 years. The delay did not make him a safer driver, it only added frustration. For many young adults juggling school, work, or caregiving responsibilities, these barriers can stand in the way of independence and opportunity. Simplifying this process while maintaining accountability through a structured 12-month restriction period is a smart, compassionate move. Equally important are the changes being proposed for motorcycle licensing. I have several close friends who are passionate riders. They often talk about how exhilarating it feels to ride through BC's beautiful landscapes. But they're also quick to remind me that motorcycling is unforgiving of mistakes. One friend, a seasoned rider with over 20 years of experience, still wears full protective gear every time he rides, no matter how short the trip. He often says, it's not about looking tough, it's about coming home safe. The proposed Motorcyclist Licensing Program with mandatory protective gear and zero tolerance for drugs and alcohol reflects the same philosophy. These measures aren't about restrictions, they're about respect for the power of the machine and the vulnerability of the rider. Too many families have been impacted by motorcycle crashes that could have been prevented with better training, protection, or safety awareness. These new standards will help save lives while preserving the freedom and joy that responsible riders value. Another important part of this bill is that it recognizes maturity and experience. Research shows that drivers over 25 are significantly less likely to crash than younger drivers. By adjusting timelines and requirement for older new drivers, the legislation ensures fairness and focuses resources where they're needed most, on high-risk, inexperienced drivers. It's a balanced, evidence-based approach that reflects how people actually learn and grow.
Vancouver-Langara, take it away.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. So ultimately, these proposed changes are about building confidence, not just for drivers and riders, but for parents, families, and communities. They ensure that the path to a full license is accessible, fair, and rooted in real safety outcomes. They also give ICBC and its staff the flexibility to manage testing demand more effectively, reducing backlogs while maintaining strong public safety oversight. We have all seen how one moment of inexperience on the road can change lives forever. I have known families who have lost loved ones in crashes that might have been prevented with better training or more safety gear. Every measure that keeps young people, riders, and all road users safer is a step worth taking. This legislation isn't about making things easier. It's about making them smarter. It modernizes a decades-old system to reflect today's realities, aligning them with the best practices across Canada and beyond. For parents, for riders, and for everyone who shares the road, these changes bring peace of mind and a renewed commitment to safety. I wholeheartedly support Bill 12 and urge others to do the same. It's practical, data-driven, and deeply human, just like the roads and the people it's meant to protect. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.